Good evening. Here's just a quick one on using some of the water-soluble Neocolor II Aquarelle crayons. They look like a coloring crayon like we're used to using from our childhood. They're waxy, they go on the paper much like a crayon, but their versatility comes in that they are water-soluble. That looks like this. So you can color with them, and you can also use them as like a watercolor paint, very simply. Being able to have this this paint that is very portable, and these crayons last, oh my goodness, you can get so much color out of just one of these crayons. So one of the ways I love to use them, it's very simple, is to just take a palette, and if you don't have a palette, whatever you've got around, just put it to work. An old saucer or something like that. Most surfaces, it's very easy to scribble a little line. Take a bit of water and always wet your brushes first. And just like that, it's mixed into paint. And it'll go on the paper. The more you scribble down, the more depth of color you'll get in your wash. So it's pretty simple. One of the other ways that is a pretty simple way to use these is to take a basic sharpener and just give it a twist. Take off a little bit of that material. Bring in your water. I'm going to use a little bit of a stiffer brush for this, I think. These lay down a very artistic line. They're a pleasure to paint onto the paper with. But because they're soft, there's not much body to them. They're a little bit tricky for mixing. This brush has synthetic bristles, so it's nice and stiff, and it will mix this stuff nice and fast. So you saw with scribbling that the color dissolves very quickly. When you use shavings, it takes a little bit more work to get it worked into a paint. But that allows you to get a more saturated paint. So this product is made by Caran, and they're available in most art supply stores. They run under $3 a piece, usually $2 and some change, and they're a lot of fun. If you can find them, go buy some of your favorite colors, add them to your mixed media, and have fun creating. Here's just a couple quick pieces. This is a blank that has got some different colors just painted on, and then I usually let the paper dry in between the layers. If you don't let it dry, you can get nice blends. See these areas where there's a nice smooth transition between the color? That was done wet in wet, meaning I didn't let the first layer of this greenish color dry before I laid in the darker blue. Then I let the piece dry and came back in with this plummy color. So you see there's a nice distinction in between the blue-green and the plummy color, whereas this blue and green blend in. So try different things, get different effects. That's part of the play, and I encourage you to explore. When these are dry, I come back in and you've probably seen in my community posts, we come back in with a pigment pen and outline the shapes. Just where there looks like there's a rock, I draw a rock. And then on this one, after all of the rocks were outlined, I came back in with a green paint and filled it in so it looks like we're at the edge of a pond or maybe a river. You just want to find those shapes and trace those lines and spend 20-30 minutes doing it. It'll quiet your mind and increase your sense of peacefulness. It's one way I use my artwork to improve my mental health. So again, I encourage you to get out, do a little art of your own, get those art supplies out, and have some playtime. We'll see you on the next video.